All right, this is Chapter 4, Lesson 3, Add and Subtract Like Fractions. So in this box over here, I have fractions that have the same denominators are called blank, blank. In those two blanks, you're going to write like fractions, okay? So if fractions have the same denominators, they're called like fractions. Okay, so when I'm adding and subtracting like fractions, to add and subtract like fractions, I add or subtract the numerators and write the result over the denominator. So here's some examples. 5/10 plus 2/10. They're like fractions because they have the same denominator. That's the important part, okay? So I just add my numerators together, 5 plus 2. I leave my denominator the same. So 5 plus 2 is 7, so I get 7/10. Same thing with 11/12 minus 4/12. Again, denominators are the same, so I just subtract my numerators. 11 minus 4 gives me 7. 12 stays the same. Okay. So in algebra, this is saying A over C plus B over C is the same thing as A plus B over C, where C can't be 0. Subtraction, same thing. A over C minus B over C equals A minus B over C, where C cannot be 0. Okay, so let's look at some problems. First one says add 5/9 plus 2/9, right in simplest form. So they have common denominators. So I just add my numerators. 5 plus 2 is 7. I get 7 over 9. I can only add the denominators together, and the denominator stays the same. Okay, so you can only add the numerators. The denominator stays the same. Okay. My second problem says Sophia ate 3/5 of a cheese pizza, Jack ate 1/5 of the cheese pizza, and 2/5 of a pepperoni pizza. How much pizza did Sophia and Jack eat all together? So I have what Sophia ate, 3/5, and Jack ate 1/5 plus 2/5. These all have the same denominator, so I just have to add the numerators. 1 plus 2 gives me 3. 3 plus 3 gives me 6, so I get 6/5. I want to change that to a mixed number, so that becomes 1 and 1/5. So Sophia and Jack ate 1 and 1/5 pizzas all together. Okay. The third problem I have is subtract negative 5/8 minus 3/8, right in simplest form. So again, like denominators, so they're like fractions, I just subtract the numerators. Negative 5 minus 3 gives me negative 8. My denominator is 8, so I have negative 8 over 8, which can simplify to negative 1. Again, you only subtract the numerators from each other. The denominators stay the same. Okay, there are a couple of try it problems on this page. Go ahead, pause the video, try them out, and when you're done, we will go over the answers together. Now that you've had a chance to try out the try it problems, let's go over the answers together. So, first problem says add negative 2/5 plus negative 2/5. They're like fractions, so I just add my numerators together. So negative 2 plus negative 2. They're both negative, so I just add them together, and I get negative 4/5. Okay. The second try it problem says Eduardo used fabric to make 3 costumes. He used 1/4 yard for the first, 2/4 yards for the second, and 3/4 yards for the third costume. How much fabric did Eduardo use altogether? So altogether is a key word. Means I'm going to add them. Here. So I have 1/4 for the first costume, 2/4 for the second, 3/4 for the third. I just add my numerators together. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. So I have 6/4, which I can reduce and simplify. 4 goes into 6 one time. I have 2/4, which reduces to 1 1/2. So Eduardo used 1 1/2 yards of fabric. Okay. The third try problem I have is subtract -5/9 minus 2/9 and write in simplest form. Okay, again, common denominator, so I just subtract the numerators. -5 minus 2 is -7. My denominator stays the same, so I get -7/9. Okay. And that is the end of lesson 3.